now we're going to present our next speaker, Ms. Reem Khamis, who's going to present her talk titled Board Gender Diversity, a Review of the Literature.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Reem Hamdan. I'm a PhD student in my second year. Today I'm going to present this paper, which is part of my PhD thesis, basically reflecting chapter 1 and 2. It's not about all my PhD, only reflecting these two chapters. It's basically a paper that I'm working on to publish with my supervisors. What I'm going to present is basically first background, why this review is needed, how this review is different from the previous ones, the methodology I conducted this review, and the main categories found in the literature regarding this topic I'm talking about, and what gap I found, and eventually I'll be talking about the model that I will be building based on this review. First of all, board gender diversity is a topic that has been on the agenda for many political parties, basically governments, and on the strategic plans for many corporations around the world. We have many countries that imposed the board gender quota, basically like Norway, which was the first one to do that in 2003. And in 2003, followed by many European countries, mainly like Italy, Spain. Among the region, we have Malaysia and UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, that imposed gender-promoting quota for SMEs in 2012. This topic is multidisciplinary in its nature. It includes too many knowledge branches, mainly finance, management, psychology, law, and many other branches. Why this review is needed? Basically because we have inconclusive evidence among the literature, and we have a huge amount of studies that did not reach a conclusive evidence regarding the relation between board gender diversity and performance. And how this review is different from the previous ones, mainly because we included a large number of studies from different perspectives, from many disciplinaries, to better understand and capture variables that would affect our relation. So the methodology of this literature review, we aimed to gather articles from top journals, basically ranked 4 stars and 3 stars. And then we ended up with like 200 articles talking about board gender diversity, and then we narrowed the research to 75 articles, basically taking in consideration articles that talked about board gender diversity and performance from a business perspective. We raised main questions to understand this phenomena, mainly why does board gender diversity affect firm outcomes, and how would board gender diversity affect firm outcomes. So we classified the studies that we gathered, and then we ended up with 4 categories. First one is gender diversity and organizational environment, basically talking about how females would interact in a team and how their psychological attributes would affect their decision taking, eventually affecting the board decision taking process. At the end, this will affect the performance of a company. Second category was gender diversity, firm performance, and value creation. Why would board members or female board members would create value? This is due to their backgrounds, their experience, and what they could bring to the boardroom different from their counterpart males. And the third category was gender diversity and governance. How would gender diversity, board gender diversity, affect the governance of the firm, and why it would enhance it or affect it by otherwise? And the fourth category was gender diversity, policies, socioeconomics, and socio-cultural attributes. As females, as part of societies and an important part of the societies, so we need to look how their societies interact with them, especially in their presence in leadership positions like board seats. So we found a gap in the literature which is basically found in emerging markets, which is a female presence among boards create value on a firm level. However, in the market performance or the market reaction toward this presence was negatively associated with the presence of females. So this is a gap we would like to cover, and we believe that the socioeconomic factors and the sociopolitical factors would interact with it and affect it. So we ended up building this conceptual framework or a model, basically taking in consideration two levels of variables, mainly firm level factors and the national factors. Firm level factors, as we mentioned, we have the corporate governance level of firms and ownership structure, board attributes, and many other variables among the firm itself. And the national level factors, mainly the external factors as we can name them, mainly the socio-political factors and the economic factors. By the socio-political factors, we mean the female representation in politics, and if there is any initiatives from the governing elites to enhance the role of females in their societies or in politics or in board seats as well. And the second factor, which is economic factor, taking in consideration the percentage of female labor force, and if this would affect the relation between firms and performance as well. So I would like to conclude this by saying that if we want to handle the relation between board gender diversity and performance, we need to look at certain levels or many levels, basically the firm level factors and the national factors, which I refer to external factors that would affect this interaction. And that's it. Thank you. Any questions?
You're analysing the effect or the numbers or the proportion of females on boards. What's your basic hypothesis? Why are you doing this research?
Basically, nowadays, many countries, especially in the region, GCC countries, are taking consideration into revise their laws into empowering females. And I'm hoping by the end of this research, I would clarify like a recommendation for policymakers how to include women and the benefits of including women economically. And this is my end goal. like designing a policy that would fit females into board positions without hurting the performance of corporations, as seen in other emerging markets that have a cultural or anything misconception regarding females, and they react negatively towards their positioning in leadership positions like politics or even board seat positions.
Yes. Have you seen any of the literature on the 2008 financial crisis regarding this point? Some of the research clearly suggests that the Western banks that committed the worst failures, the worst crimes, if you like, were completely dominated by men at board level, and the banks that made the least mistakes had female members on their board.
Yeah, this is a core issue in my research, that females are seen like more ethical, and they have certain attributes that they overcome on, they are better than their counterparts, females. Especially business has been dominated by males for a long time. So this is one core issue of my research, and as I'm arguing in my research, that females would enhance independence and governance in the corporations where they nominated as board members.